The final match of the night should be a good one. I'm your host, Malik Forte. We got Reinforced and Sideshow at the desk. Now, we saw the Outlaws lose to the LA Gladiators on Wednesday, which neither of you guys saw coming, by the way. I just want to rub that in a little bit. Rub that in a little bit.
That's fake. That's fraudulent right there. Because if you go to the Overwatch League.com
Taking my word.
check out our preview article on Houston versus Gladiators, I predicted the Houston.
All right, but look, they're still in the overall playoff picture. And for the shock today is about playing spoiler. They basically can become the colossal titan and tear down the green wall.
They can.
Yes.
Yes, that is the possibility for them. They're pretty much out of the overall playoff picture, but they can utterly ruin it for the Houston Outlaws because every victory matters for Houston when they're in 8th place. And the only real reason why we still think they can get back up there and overtake Seoul and the Gladiators is that they do look really good this meta.
Yeah,
they look like a top team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a few scenarios, they don't look that good, but overall they got a good understanding of the meta. They've adapted very quickly, and as such, they are 5th. They did take that loss to the Los Angeles Gladiators, who are on top of the standings. So in many ways, the Gladiators are the best team in the league in this current meta, except for the New York Excelsior. How could I forget? We just saw them.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
in many ways, you know, with the Gladiators being such a top team, Houston, they can still make the stage playoffs despite losing.
So Gus, how you feeling about the Outlaws this stage?
Well, when I came into this meta, and people are saying, "Oh, do you think Outlaws are going to be really good? You know, they don't have to play Tracer. Are they going to be a real top team again, like they were in Stage 1?" And I didn't really believe it because you need flexibility. I think you need to be able to play the dive if other teams are playing Orisa, and you need to be able to play the Ryan Zarya, and they can't switch that easily on the fly. But then I saw them in week 1, and they were incredible, and they didn't really play dive too much, but they played the Brigitte really well, played double sniper, played a lot of Ryan Zarya. I was like, wow, these guys are for real. I'm right on board that Houston Outlaws hype train. And then the hype train crashed into a wall, crashed into the LA Gladiators, and it has firmly thrown me off the hype train because now I'm going back to my original point of view.
It was close, though.
It was close, but the problem was, as soon as you got to Hanamura and they were forced to play dive, they looked awful, you know? They really couldn't coordinate it together. So I feel like LA Gladiators proved that if you do your homework and you push them into uncomfortable positions, they are going to really struggle.
Well, it's not even about pushing the Houston Outlaws into uncomfortable positions, because in many ways, a lot of teams are playing this Orisa, Junkrat, Widowmaker comps on a lot of maps. So the Houston Outlaws, if they want to be a top team this stage, they need to be able to play this composition. It forced Jake onto the Tracer, and we have to say that Jake improved a lot on the Tracer throughout. He was pretty decent towards the end of Stage 3. But then you're playing the Widowmaker into an Orisa barrier, and of course, you're just not that good at dive compared to the other compositions. They look great when they play, for example, Reinhardt and Zarya, or even when themselves play the Orisa comps, but the dive really isn't there, and you need to play all the different compositions in this meta.
And when they went over to Oasis as well, we saw that Jake playing that Pharah, and you know, that's previously been a strong point for them, but he got kind of destroyed by hydration, and that puts a lot more pressure on the people on the ground. A Widowmaker as well, Linkser had been playing amazingly, you know, like absolute peak performance in week 1. Didn't quite show up in the same way in that match. So these are the two guys that I'm looking for here in terms of their individual performance. And who plays those counterparts over on the San Francisco Shock? It's Architect, the guy who's actually been having really strong...
You could be a host.
Who's been having really strong individual performances himself. So this is the challenge, I think, for Jake and for Linkser coming in, is that if they are having to play kind of the Pharah v Pharah matchup or the Widow v Widow, Architect needs to be shut down. And conversely, he's the win condition for the San Francisco Shock, I think. So you can look and kind of think about, yeah, there's a huge amount of teamwork and counter compositions and this kind of stuff that goes into it. But if Architect just ends up running away with the individual 1v1 matchup, the Houston Outlaws are in a much more difficult position. They can still win, but more difficult.
Awesome. All right, now, the Shock, they recently had a tough loss to London. What do they have to do to kind of bounce back from that defeat?
Well, I just feel like you have to give those resources to Architect in many ways, and perhaps change up the comp a bit. I felt like the Shock weren't themselves versus the London Spitfire. They put in a new
I thought they were themselves because they looked like they were going to win and then they disappointed.
That's true as well.
There's nothing more San Francisco
But it looked like an off
than
game, right? Because looking at week 1, I thought really high of the San Francisco Shock. I thought, wow, they could potentially make the stage playoffs. But then they put in Choyobin. Nevix wasn't in the lineup with his Brigitte, as we've seen it. Sinatra instead took over the Brigitte for this team. And it was a very different San Francisco Shock. So they looked good in week 1. And then you put Sinatra on the Brigitte instead of Nevix because you're adding a new off-tank on Choyobin. So sure, the stats look really good for Sinatra here, but still there's the flexibility problems, and Sinatra, he's a very aggressive Brigitte player.
Yes,
like twice the hero damage. I mean, that's insane. But at the same time, I feel like Nevix is a lot more passive, and Brigitte even though she has offensive capabilities, that it's just more defensive resources to put your team in a more surviving zone, if that makes any sense.
Yes,
yes,
only a little bit, but it didn't make sense.
You're not supposed to play Brigitte in a sense you're pushing as a DPS. It's more like a tank support.
Sinatra can't be tamed. The man's an
Can't be
animal.
tamed.
You have to find the balance.
Yeah,
Sure.
The balance between aggressive.
They didn't really look themselves, I would
Right.
like to say, versus the London Spitfire. But maybe it's different today.
All right, well, we'll see. This team had a slow start for the season, but recently they've upped their game. Let's see if they can continue that momentum. Blizzard Arena, welcome to the stage, the San Francisco Shock. The Shock beat the Seoul Dynasty last week and forced a Game 5 against London yesterday with performances like these. Could they upset the Outlaws today?
I mean, they could upset the Outlaws for sure, because London, despite not being the strongest team as of recent, I still feel like with the sheer individual skill on that roster, they're an insane force. So actually their performance yesterday was pretty good, and they should have won Blizzard World, and in many ways they could have taken that series. So I feel like the San Francisco Shock, they are a force to be reckoned with, and the Houston Outlaws, given that they're in a position where they have to secure every win possible to keep themselves in the season playoffs race, this is a must-win for them. But the San Francisco Shock have looked really good.
And it's always interesting when you watch the San Francisco Shock because they have this long-term plan. You know, they have a roster full of really young guys that they're trying to develop. They recently added a new head coach that they got from Boston. So we're starting to see the San Francisco Shock get better and better as the season goes on, which is a nice change from watching teams like the Seoul Dynasty go downwards instead. So for San Francisco, they are now in a position where previously they were in the lower end of the table. Now I feel like they're a mid-table team that can genuinely take upsets from teams like the Houston Outlaws. So I'm looking to, I think that this is going to be the best game of the day, Malik.
Second most improved team in the league or third?
Well, I gotta put Philadelphia Fusion up there as well.
Boston Uprising.
Boston Uprising, Gladiators. Okay,
there's a lot of improved teams, but
right.
they have improved, Malik.
All right, well, let's keep it moving, guys. Now, the Rockets beat the Warriors last night. Let's find out if their Overwatch counterparts can repeat history. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Houston Outlaws. This has been a strong lineup for Houston historically, but as we mentioned, they've struggled a little bit this stage. How do they get it done today, guys?
I think they just play more of the same. You know, only on a couple of maps are you going to be forced to play dive and move away from what you're super comfortable with. And honestly, as soon as you get Houston Outlaws in their comfort zone, they look phenomenal. They look like one of the best teams in the league in this current meta. You know, as soon as they're playing the double sniper or more Ryan Zarya, or they have an opportunity to play the Junkrat again, that's where they look great. It's only when you really counter-strat them and force them to play dive into you or this kind of stuff, or they have slightly weaker performances on their individual heroes, that they look vulnerable.
Yeah, and the maps doesn't necessarily favor those kind of compositions as much. We have a Horizon, Lunar Colony in the pool. We have Oasis, Dorado. There's a lot of high ground on these maps, or even Oasis, there's a lot of free space. And so we might see a lot of dive compositions, actually. And that might not favor the Houston Outlaws as much. We're going into Blizzard World. I think we're going to see more Junkrat and Widowmaker. But knowing the Houston Outlaws, I expect Kai and Tyrone to have a plan in order to make themselves more comfortable than they've been in the past.
I think they'll have definitely learned from that game against the LA Gladiators. And for me, as we go into Blizzard World and then Horizon Lunar Colony, it's all about this Widow v Widow matchup, seeing whether Linksa can keep up his form from week one or whether Architect's going to steal the show.
All right, well, it's time to find out. Yo, Blizzard Arena, make some noise one more time. It's our final match of the night. Come on, give it to me. And let's go ahead and send it on over to our casters, Simler and Hex.
Thank you, Malik. Yes, it is going to be. I mean, Puckett isn't here.
I know, you still
I got to do it, Hex. I got to do it. So, yes, we're getting into this match where people on the desk are clearly not taking into account the key factor that will decide Houston's win today.
This better be worth
No, apparently, they have like an 85% win rate when we cast their games.
Oh, that's right,
So, enough said. Houston's going to win because Hex and I are on the mic
I think it is something like 80% win rate. It is ridiculous. Houston wins.
Totally
they draw
getting...
inspiration from our voices, even though they can't hear us.
We get to playoffs, going to start charging them.
I think it's because they get to hang out in here and we're just like chilling out.
I know.
Like,
already, Hex, I can see why it's happening too. You know, you're influencing them. Mumo was reading your notes saying, is this top secret? Oh, hold on, let me take a look at this.
And I'm like, no, look, I don't even have anything.
So, guys, yeah, it is the last series of the day here. It is a very even matchup, I believe, as well, seeing as how the San Francisco Shock, a bit of an up and down sort of scenario. Hey, same could be said for Houston.
Could be a big clash of styles here. Houston always thought of it as a more defensive team, going to grind it out. The anti-dive team from previous stages as well, whereas San Francisco, what they do really well is dive. They'll even run Tracer into Brigitte with no problem. I've been really impressed with Sinatraa lately, just widening out his hero pool. You know, there's a lot of Tracer players, came into the league as only Tracer aces, but his Zarya's always been good. He's been playing some Junkrat lately as well, so he's really trying to round out that pool, and I think a lot rests on him. But, you know, as with always, as on Blizzard World, it's going to be a Widow battle.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more, X. Tell me more.
I think there's going to be a Widow, and I think there's going to be a Widow on both sides, and they're going to try to shoot each other. And whoever shoots each other in the head more is going to put his team in a better position.
Fantastic. FPS at its core. Hit headshots, you noobs. Well, there we go. Houston Outlaws on the defense, and you've already got Linkser with his personal shield battery, Jake, and the bubble as well. Just all the shields for Linkser, and let's see if he can take advantage of that and deliver a headshot to kick things off, as it is going to be a bit of a switch up here from San Francisco. Shock, you were thinking Widow, but no, it is going to be Dive coming in here from San Francisco. Quick roster changes.
Pure Dive Architect will switch over to the Genji. Now they're going to run a dive into a Brigitte, and let's see if it works, and let's try to figure out how they're able to do it. They're going to rotate top right here. They may be expecting a setup up here. A lot of teams have been running the Orisa, the medium horse, as it were, and Sinatraa is all the way around back. They're setting up this dive. Sinatraa pokes in a little bit early, though. No one there is with him, so now it's kind of a slow-ish dive until they find their next target.
Yeah, Jake is going to be just staying along with Bounty and Raucus right now, watching each other's backs. Cool Matt as well. They are sticking in this group. Muma with a little bit of a poke forward. Just saying hello. And Sinatraa also trying to find some angle to work with here. It is going to be the initiate. It is going to be the dive. They go leaping into the fray here. Sinatraa still hanging around on that point. At some point, Houston Outlaws are going to have to drop down and contest. Cool Matt doing a little bit of that. But that's a tick picked up here for San Francisco.
Well, it's kind of a fake dive. It's a posture dive, and San Francisco will run this on different maps. I think Numbani comes to mind, where they fake that they're going up, and then they just drop down, and they force the defense to respond to them.
Well, there's the stick. Jake is gone. No more Brigitte. And well, there's a self-destruct coming in from Cool Matt. Removes Sleepy, but these kills are definitely favoring San Francisco Shock. They're running away with this offense here. A little bit of a question mark with the lack of a Widow, but they've made it work.
Already a better offense than they had against London. That was a ridiculous map, by the way. They hold London to 89% and they still lose Blizzard World. So already Shock is adapting. They're making a strategy work. This full dive worked out very well for them. Didn't cost them much either. They did end up throwing the Valkyrie in, but that's not the biggest of deals. And then Pulse Bomb might as well just be an ability and a long cooldown.
Yeah, exactly. The Sinatra's already up at 70%. So we'll get another Pulse pretty soon, but that was a slick stick from Sinatraa to kick things off there. Removing Jake from the equation means that he's got to wait a little bit longer for the rally to start getting that armor onto his teammates. Well, push is happening here for San Francisco Shock. Now it's going to be on whether Houston Outlaws are set up for the counter.
Jake's just hiding right now. He might be waiting for the passive rally to get his team all into good fighting form here. Another quasi-fake dive by Super goes in, just kind of lets his presence be known and bails out immediately.
Yeah, we've had the Pulse getting thrown in by Sinatraa. Now Jake is going to get that armor out, but his teammates, not everybody is around. Muma's there. Raucus is definitely going to benefit from that. And Architect gets picked off, but Super has found Linkser in the meantime. So again, these trades just back and forth. Self-destruct goes leaping in. Raucus is just able to get far enough away to dodge it.
Right, of course out Valkyrie though. Valkyrie in effect from Banny here. Raucus still holding onto the Transcendence if they need to, but it is a completely one-sided. Super cleans up the remainder of it, punches tanks to death like the Hulk that he is. And they're going to continue pushing. One more defense will be able to come out here even with the changes to Blizz World.
It's weird because Houston Outlaws are the green team here. How does that work?
You wouldn't like them when they're angry.
No, don't worry. Lou is proud. Lou is proud. Let's get into it here. San Francisco Shock are setting it up. Architect, he's got the blade, and there it is. Right into the mix. Going for the reflect. It was a little tired, but hey, Benny, you gotta stay in the trance, otherwise you're gonna die. Architect, though, gets laid low by Linkser immediately.
It's only the one kill, but it's such an important kill. But even with getting the Mercy, it does seem like San Francisco wants to reset here. They did pop Infrasight too. Architect, or no, never mind. It's just a late switch. All right.
Deep breath, Hex, deep breath.
Yeah, it's been a long day already.
Happens to all of us.
Self-destruct on the defensive side of things. Linkser will have his Infrasight going forward. Still some armor hanging around. I mean, that's the super strong effect of Rally. Raucus, man, I am just all off of it. Excuse me, reset. Semler's gonna take a drink of green tea, and I'm gonna try to turn my brain on.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about Raucus with armor, yes, it is ridiculous that Zenyatta has the armor on the other side of his energy shield that just respawns of it. So, I mean, it's like until you kill the guy, he's just got armor. Go dive that Zen, you're going to get orbs to the face all day long.
We'll see what the new Flex Tank can do for San Francisco. That's a nice opening shot from Architect. That Resurrection now out of the mix, but Choi is a new player for this team. Self-destruct can be very good on this point. It's a point-winning ultimate. There comes over the top. Very hard to hide from it, and as they scramble away, Banny gets taken out.
Nowhere to go here for Jake. He needs to survive a little bit, though. Gets whittled down eventually by Sinatra. That sets it up here for Linkser to get picked as well. That's Architect actually finding the kill on Linkser. And San Francisco Shock, there hasn't really been much slowing down here for them. Houston Outlaws, they're putting up a fight, but it's a bit of a weak one right now. They need to beef up the defense here.
They're going to have Rally again, so that will beef them up, so to speak. But we talk about zoning ults, and sometimes we're joking and sometimes we're not, but that's a perfect zoning ult to send the self-destruct over there. You see that the Mercy has to try to fly away, has to get to cover into the waiting arms of the Tracer, and Sinatra's going to finish that kill every single time.
Yeah, Sinatra not going to miss an opportunity like that. And well, he's caught Muma, who was lurking. Muma, you don't really want to get whittled down too much. You want to keep that armor for as long as possible. Jake getting spotted as well. So it's just Sinatra kind of poking around here on the high ground as the payload makes its way around the U-bend. Now it is going to be the engage here. Bounty decides to pop the wings. We've got Falk going online here for Houston Outlaws. So the chain heals, the chain boost. And Sinatra deciding to give a little bit of ground here, trying to rally with the rest of his team. Careful now and not want to get splattered. It's Linkser to find the kill on Moth, and that's finally going to be that high impact frag that could turn it around here for Houston.
I mean, interesting to go for the stick there, knowing that you're probably not going to continue pushing with Moth down, but maybe you're hoping to get a staggered reset here. The spawns are so close for the offense that they could have tried to continue to push off that, but also just going for the pulse bomb because he wants to switch. Now, this is what I was talking about with Sinatra trying to widen his hero pool. He's going to be on the Brigitte. Let's see what he can get down. Meanwhile, the rest of San Francisco's banked a decent amount of ults as well.
Well, Jake getting caught out. That's not going to help things here. Houston definitely can't res that one. Bonnie has to hang back. Coolmat gets DMAX in the meantime. Bonnie's still trying to keep his teammates alive here, but Coolmat's getting punted, and Sinatra collects yet another kill. Raucus overwhelmed, and now the payload can start making some real progress here towards this third point, towards the final destination.
Yeah, they're going to be able to transcend into here too, and Valkyrie, and both very good to try to close out the map. Self-destruct and Primal also into the mix. Sinatra gets very low, but he brings himself back to life at 80% now. They're going to rally here in a moment as well.
Yeah, Jake gets it up, but Sinatra now, they are getting a bit beef here, Houston Outlaws. There's the self-destruct right over the top. Always a good one, but Raucus has got the trance. He's involved. No worries there. Throws him into the fray. No problem at all with that AoE heals and the invuln on himself. And well, it's going to be Coolmat's turn now. Self-destruct plopping down right on top of the payload. Doesn't find a kill again. So we're back and forth here, but Sinatra did get the rally off, and San Francisco Shock have now got a bit of an edge in this fight.
Brigitte's so impossible to kill. Finally, Sleepy gets the last bits of damage onto Jake, who was also down to about 5 HP, flailed his way out of it. Sleepy trying to come in. D.Va D-maxed out of this mix, still very back and forth, not a dominant winning fight yet. Another Transcend comes out, forces it out of Raucus.
These are just back and forth. Sinatra again with the rally, so quick because he's been in these fights. He's generating this ult charge so rapidly now. There are the kills that are going to make the difference, though. Bonnie and Coolmat out of it. And well, you do have exactly Jake, who's kind of hanging around on the point trying to contest, but it's just not going to be enough. Raucus is going to get punched to death. Muma is here. He will be the last line as he is trying desperately to hold on. And yes, with the Primal, that's going to allow for Bonnie to run back in with Coolmat as well.
Yeah, I just barely got it off just at 99, just mashing Q, hoping that it comes online. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Matt's trying to stall this out. The respawn advantage is huge for the defense, but at some point you got to put some green in the left side of the kill feed.
Yeah, it's just not happening. Banny, though, somehow survives. As soon as he goes out into the open, though, he is dead, and Coolmat not going to be able to make it in time. We will have all 3 points picked up here for the San Francisco Shock. Things going according to plan with everybody nearly on fire on that team.
I really like what they're doing with the dive. They're running presenting a dive composition at the very least, and then they're just not really diving with it. It's strange. They're faking it, but we have a replay to take a look at here.
I mean, that is going to have to, eventually teams are going to adjust to that. Let's see, just some volleys, just, you know.
I've mentioned the last couple times that we've cast San Francisco Shock that, you know, people are definitely sleeping on Sleepy. He's been a carry for this team at times when they've needed it, and now if everyone else can play up to the level that Sleepy's been playing at for, well, nearly all season, and this team becomes very, very frightening. In this league, if you don't have a good support line, you don't have anything. You look at the very top teams in the league, they have some of the best supports.
Well, looking at some of these stats here, it's actually pretty impressive that Houston Outlaws have managed to run down the clock so far. There's no time in the bank here for San Francisco Shock, despite the fact that they got 32 kills versus the 8 that Houston were able to pick up. So Houston just doing a remarkable job of drawing things out, even if they can't actually get any kills.
Sinatra is playing so well. Since the last time we casted him as well, I called it his breakout performance. We all know that he's a good player, but he hadn't really shown to have like dominant plays. But yet again, Sinatra didn't die. He didn't die that entire offense.
Yeah, 9 final blows, 0 deaths.
I think he's really adjusted his style of play on Tracer because he used to be a super aggro Tracer. Triple blink in, if I don't get the kill, I'll just recall. And that just messes with all of your cooldown timings, when you can go in again, when you can retreat. He's playing it much smarter. He's still getting damage done, but he's not going all in for kills. He's not trying to trade with it. He'll take the tanks. He's taking what's given to him. It's like a patient baseball hitter. Just take it.
Playing the stats, Moneyball. Let's go. Definitely no Symmetra. Don't get your hopes up, guys. It will be the swap. It's Moa pulling a fast one on us all. Houston Outlaws now moving together. Many tanks, many bodies. And well, it is going to be a bit of the, why am I blanking? Junkrat, that's his name. A couple of Junkrats in the mix. Sinatra's already up to 87% though. He has been so on point with his frag grenades.
It's Ryan Zarya, but no Brigitte in the mix here. With Benny going down, that's pretty much it. This fight's over. It's time to back out and hope that you don't die while you're backing out. Get a little charge for Cool Matt there.
Sinatra's already got his ult.
Yeah.
It's barely been 45 seconds of fighting, and Sinatra's already got his ultimate.
Well, he needs to be that guy for this team that can be the ultra versatile DPS, especially as we've entered into stage 4. Every good team has someone who just plays everything, and they play everything really, really well. And Sinatra is making a case to be that guy.
That's for San Francisco again, just connecting left and right. Constant pressure, all the damage. Now there's a tire right into the mix. Not going to find it though, a bit too straightforward there. Jake deletes it with the mine, so Sinatra, he's going to be happy about that. It's fine. It takes him about 30 seconds to get a new one.
Already at 16%. Meanwhile, Houston's found no real good entry in here. Jake is taking a 1v1 really far away against the Diva. He's actually chunking in some good damage here. Rockets has to be careful. Well, be careful back in spawn.
Consider the careful lifestyle. Architect though right now just hitting headshots all over the place. 3 kills for him. Another one, 4th.
I don't really like that resurrection very much. Perhaps it was being channeled while the other 2 were dying, but 2 had just died. So really no point to bring him back to life just to die again. And Houston back to the drawing board. They're gonna have Transcendence at least, but everybody else is switching. This is a hard economy reset.
Puts him back to square one. It's gonna be that full fight. And yeah, this is just Architect going duck hunting right now.
Yeah, Benny was rezzing him as Cool Matt died, and then as Jake went down too. So not necessarily his fault during that. And right now, Houston just has to hope for an eco push, trying to get some sort of ultimates back online. You don't really even want to use Transcendence in this. It's just going to be answered by a Transcendence of your own. So you want to pressure the San Francisco enough that they have to use ultimates. Houston made this switch at the right time, though. I call it the 2-minute warning because at 2 minutes, you're generally going to get every single ult up in the game.
Yeah, now you can Cool Matt.
He had to reset.
He had to reset.
Yep.
So that's going to set back that self-destruct even further. They are struggling right now, Houston Outlaws. It's going to be a lot of riding on this next push here with 1:20 on the clock. And, well, it's just so many ultimates here for San Francisco. All of them, they got a 6-pack. Who's going to crack one open first?
Architect's going to use it first. There's no opposing Widow, so there's no real waiting game of I'm going to use it when you use it so that we both have it. He's just going to be able to see through the walls with the Infrasight. It's a good ultimate to use with Tire, so maybe before it counts down, but you also just want to hold Tire here. You want to use that as a last resort. Finland's gift to Esports, sent back to spawn again. Resurrected.
Monstrous. Architect is remarkable. Let's go. There it is. All right, so it is going to be the jump in. Slow and sure, slow and steady here for Houston Outlaws. Going for a bit of a similar strategy that San Francisco Shock employed, where they don't fully commit onto that high ground. Architect somehow managing to dodge death yet again. And while he is going to continue to have the chance here to keep dealing it, Cool Matt hanging on by a thread. Flank comes through. Sinatra founds MoMA. The main tank is dead now for Houston Outlaws. And with 20 seconds on the clock, that's not ideal. Far from it. Bonnie looks like, oh, that's a big kill though. Linkster with the double pulse. Sinatra and Super out of it, as well as the Bongos. Houston Outlaws, they might have made us wait, but it's looking like they're gonna get the job done here at the very last.
They throw everything they have into it because why not? You absolutely have to. There's no one really coming back for San Francisco. See, I mean, the Devo was trying to get in there and touch. I thought Super might have designs of coming back in, but he doesn't have Primal or anything to use there. Switches on the defensive side here, and this is the pulse bomb that cracked the whole thing open.
Oh man, they're all so grouped. It couldn't be more. It couldn't be better. It couldn't be better. The bongos, everybody standing up. I mean, that's just exactly what Tracer's waiting for.
Yeah, I assumed we were going to see Jake switch as well, so we've got two Brigitas on the field, Sinatra and Jake trying to be the Jake of all trades for his team, running everything there. And now, it's still a very good defense. There's no two ways about it. They held it to the very last second into overtime. But it was going to be that way once Houston made that switch at 2 minutes. You knew that they weren't really going to have any pushes until the ultimates came online. Good use of ultimates. And that pulse bomb was the difference maker.
I would say it's going to be the deep self-destruct. Obviously dodged. It's a bit too open there. A few too many places to hide. So cool, Matt. No joy there, but still, they are making progress at this payload. San Francisco Shock, you have yet to really contest it. Only now are they going to get in, and that's because Houston Outlaws are kind of backing off. Could be getting a whole bunch of free push, but it's not going to happen because Muma gets overwhelmed. Lynx are quieted down, but hey, never mind. He finds the headshot on Architect still. It's not quite enough here to build off of.
They're able to chase him out rather effectively. Architect is res back up, so both teams in full fighting force. Jakes finds himself in the middle of a hornet's nest.
That's awkward.
It's not where he wanted to be at all. They're going to send this self-destruct in here. Ship it through. Does force out the Transcendence from Raucus.
I can't think of a more horrible death, though. Like, death by hornets? Death by hornets? That's the stuff of nightmares, Hex. Why are you doing that?
Well, I could think of several worse ones, but I'm
okay, fine, fair enough.
I have a job to do right now.
This is part of it.
45 seconds. We are under a minute, and Houston has looked absolutely shut out again. They've been trying to go through this room, and it's simply not working. You know, there's a big old hallway you can try to push down too. Cleaned up. Sinatra will get the finishing blow onto Manny. Super's back here doing whatever he wants. Gets stuck on the Eagle.
Yeah, nearly got out, but that was a pretty big target. Hey, why not just go for the res, though? Bold as brass. Moth, just bring it Super back. No problem at all. And now they get to fall back and just camp the payload with 15 seconds left on the clock. Houston Outlaws, this is going to be it. The Hail Mary from them. Rally is in, so everybody's getting that armor. And now this is going to be it. Everything on the line. They did it last time. They've done it already, but this is tough.
The enhanced Outlaws, those big health pools, they should be able to win a fight just based on that one alone. And they also have a shatter up for Muma. So Super versus Muma, it's going to be difficult for the Winston to win, but he can drop a bubble and save his team. Sinatra falling first really hurts.
That doesn't really, that's not going to set things up nicely here. Moment with the shatter. Let's see. Will he find the opening or not? Choi getting Z-Max as well isn't going to help things here for San Francisco Shock.
There's no need. San Francisco doesn't really have anything to work with going forward. They're going to have self-destruct Transcendence. Ideally, you would like Super to be able to get his Primal Rage up and knock them off because it is in overtime while they try to push to the second point, get an extension on their homework.
It's going to be it. This is it. I mean, right now, Super's back into it, gets rezzed up, or not rezzed. Choi gets rezzed. Architect instead finds a headshot on Linkser. And that could be all that they were waiting for here as far as the Houston Outlaws are concerned, but we will have a kill coming in from Muma. That's Sinatra out of the mix. Choi, however, removes Jake. This is just going to be back and forth right on the point. 2 meters left here, and they are able to contest at the last second. San Francisco Shock keeping this fight running. Muma just standing in the front line now, trying to find some damage wherever he can. That shield definitely needed here.
The respawn advantage should be huge for the defense. They should be right around the corner. All the kills come in, and the San Francisco Shock will take the first map against the Houston Outlaws.
Excellent. It's just these fights, they keep getting drawn out. They're going, and then, oh, there's the turning point, and everybody dies, and one side just comes out ahead.
It would have been very odd had they not won that map. 61-22, the total kill count in favor of San Francisco. They won every single fight. They will take Blizzard World.
So we're going to take a break, guys. When we come back, we'll have map 2 of this series, and we'll see if Houston Outlaws, they can grab them by the horns and turn it around.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
feels bad, man, for the Boston.
Spree's Row is back.
Yeah. Dude, maybe we'll get to play Kings Row 2nd and 3rd sometime.
Maybe.
This is so nice. Like, he knew he went high ground,
yeah.
so he's just like owning him.
Just
like,
playing the angle.
There's just no way that Six is winning that. And that shot is just dirty, dude. I didn't even see them. Link's just like, all right, I'm owning. I'm owning.
Link's was like, I'm literally just killing them all. Just let me just flex right here real fast.
Keep it up.
Welcome back, guys. That was a sneak peek at the latest episode of Behind the Screens, which takes you into the minds of the players as they break down top matches from the previous week. It's only available to all access pass holders, so go get yours today and get that insight from the pros, bros, and they forgot to put broettes. So, score recap, back into the match. Welcome back, everybody. And yes, feels good, man, to be here because Muma is my boy, Jake as well. Definitely want to hear what they have to say. Hex, this is it. We're back from the break.
I'm just in awe. You know?
I love it.
And the sad thing is, like, they don't even have other options. They can't come in here and be like, Hex, can you read this? And I'm like, I told you.
This is where you need that
I
cartoon
can't
hook that's just gonna like stick out of the screen and like
You're gonna get vaudevilled. You're gonna get vaudevilled on out of here.
They have me a favorite. They put these ideas in my head, Hex.
Yeah.
Things happen. Let's go. Countdown has begun. Let's get into the map and save ourselves, hopefully with some Overwatch. So, it is going to be Lunar Colony coming up next.
Well, and if Houston's going to save themselves a segue, they need to win this map for sure. They're very good on this map, and San Francisco, not so much.
Not so much. It's been a bit of a horror show on this map, if I recall, if I recollect correctly.
1-6 on the season for San Francisco, 5-1 for Houston. It's a very good map for Houston. These kind of maps where they can play a static style, set up Muma in a spot, and I don't know. I mean, the real question is, can San Francisco look better than Seoul did? Because that was brutal to watch.
Come on, man. Seriously?
Yeah, no, seriously.
It's not gonna happen, Hex.
I don't know.
You want to get your hopes up. You want to dream. Hey, I mean, you know, that's what
look,
dreams are made of, hopes.
I would not know. I dumpstered my hopes and dreams years ago. All right, so in all likelihood, the numbers point to the fact that we'll be going into the half at 1-1, unless San Francisco can really surprise us. But hey, you know, that Blizzard World offense was pretty surprising, given what they've shown on that map as well. So maybe it's a revitalized team, maybe it's a new plan, and they're just gonna run dive. That's what I like about San Francisco. They're like meta schmeta. We're a dive team, we're running dive.
Yeah, we're just gonna stick to it. You know, there could be more, you know, impactful, effective, good strategies. But, you know, dive works as well. It's just that right now, at least, there is a bit of that classic kind of anti-dive setup coming in here for Houston Outlaws with Jake on the Jake Rat. So he's definitely waiting, ready to just blow them up and send them flying when they do come in. Linkser with the pot shot there to start things off on Super, dropping them down to half HP. And Houston Outlaws, in fact, just giving ground, backing off, not letting San Francisco Shock find that opening kill.
Yeah, they're trying to just catch the dive. Rock is taking on Sleepy as a really nice early kill. If it's in a resable position, then the fight will continue. If not, it's time to back out. They will res 6v6 yet again.
6v6, the fight continues, and they are still just constantly retreating here, Houston Outlaws, one pace at a time, trying to draw San Francisco in, trying to force somebody to overextend themselves and open it all up. Linkser gets the headshot on Sinatra. That's the kill that will favor the Houston Outlaws, but there will be a trade with Architect finding Linkser. Back and forth here is Architect! Okay then, decides to go bonkers and picks up all the kills.
Architect blows him away like a house of leaves, dashes through, gets a couple of dash resets, in there with the blade, chops him apart. Beautiful play there, a nice patient push there too from San Francisco, and this is a new looking team. They looked absolutely lost on this map previously, and now they get the first push.
Let's see, there's one dash, there's another dash, and all the dashes. Jeez.
A glorious death at the end there, no problem. You will take that every day of the week. Houston not switching up anything on their composition, not looking for the reset. San Francisco, why not just keep rolling with it? That worked so well for them.
Just keep the party going. I mean, well, again,
Hey,
well, I'm not gonna get excited this time. I'm not getting excited this time. It's like, oh, there's the kill, and then, well, that definitely didn't work last one, so.
That's a good sign. That's how they started their last fight that they won.
Ah, so you're a San
Not
Francisco
forgetting
fan.
that
You're
guy.
a San Francisco fan after all, Hex. I get it. I get it. Looking out for your boys.
It's called Frisco. Thank you.
San Fran, dude. San Fran. So Houston Outlaws, who statistically speaking win 85% plus when we cast their games. Right now, they're a little on the ropes.
Yeah, you bringing that up is the problem. You know that, right? That's like you just put the curse on them.
What do you mean? There's no such thing as the caster curse. Look, Linkser, there he is. 2 kills, body shot on the Moth as well. That's Rock is fine in 1. See? I mean, Link's just dying terribly right now. There is definitely a lot of tasing going on, but with some good pocket healing coming in from Bonnie, he will survive.
Nice defensive hold. It's going to be a nice reset there for Houston, and they didn't have to use a whole lot. Valkyrie did get tossed in there, but they've got plenty else. Pretty much all 5 ultimates. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, banking up ultimates has been the offense. And really, what I'm waiting for is Architect or Sinatra to just really open this up. That's how dive works. You wait for your giant DPS ultimates, and you get like 2 or 3 kills off of them. And then you charge them up so fast, you kind of just keep throwing them at the team.
Just hold your breath and wait as Linkser can see through walls. He's looking for it. San Francisco, yep, there. Oh, and he doesn't doubt it. He doubts his angle. He doesn't trust. Gets the shot there, but that wasn't the headshot, unfortunately, for him. So it is going to be the push coming in here from San Francisco Shock. They're getting so many ults online. They kicked it off with the Primal. Architect trying to make the magic happen again. He's down to 5 HP, and he's down to 0. Moma lays him out.
Yeah, this one's over now. It was bad when Architect got killed. It's worse than Moth is now, and now they're just trying to die, trying to get out if they can, and not donate more ult percentage to the other side of things. Muma will fall, but entirely too late. Super falling thereafter, so it's just a full reset. And now let's take a look at the ultimate situation. Houston threw everything they had at it. Actually, it's a very good fight for San Francisco in retrospect, because now they have a huge ultimate advantage. Most importantly, the support ultimates. Vanny needs to live in this next fight so we can get up to Valkyrie and then hope that they can pull something else out, but they are miles away from any other ultimate.
It's almost where you want to see somebody beefy from Houston like Muma or Coolmat dropping down, just taking some chip damage, anything you can to get Banny that ultimate before this push comes through. Jake finding Architect is a good start, at least. Obviously from on high, he's just going to be looking for those frag grenades just throwing in. Oh, hey, Sinatra, triple blink, let's go, all the way in, fully committed. Does manage to wrap around, however, and he will survive for now. Take a progress picked up here for Houston Outlaws, and still trying to, not for Houston Outlaws, for San Francisco.
You can piece it together, you know, 3 pushes, three little separate ticks here. Getting a little bit more progress on the point. So Houston has to pop Valkyrie. Vanny did stay alive, did get Valkyrie up, and now they're working their way towards more important ultimates, but they don't need to use any more than that, because they just killed Moth, which usually signals pretty close to the end of the fight. Raucus is going to have to transcend, though. You would love to have had that.
Yes, and well, right now, these are kills that are building it up here. Yeah. San Francisco looking good. Moma's going to throw himself in there, but the Primal will eventually wear off, and with the Discord, he'll get melted anyway. And just like that, Coolmat looked like he was right on the edge, but he didn't make it in time to contest.
I thought that was a fight that they had, and then they started throwing ultimates after. I was about to go on a big diatribe about how Houston's usually so good with their ultimates, and their economy's always in great place, but the pressure that San Francisco has continued to put on, and it might be one of those situations of like, oh, we got Mercy, don't worry about it. And then San Francisco's like, I don't care, we'll fight you 5v6. I just like the style that this team is playing in lately, and San Francisco Shock have looked pretty abysmal on HLC here so far, but they finish it out against the Outlaws.
They've been giving this map a bit of TLC in the scrims, and it's been treating them right, Hex. You know, it's looking good. Definitely turning it around in the lead. Well, not in the lead as far as kills, but it's very close now between the two teams. You know, this is definitely shaping up nice.
Yeah, Architect's playing very well. He's been a very good player at times, and then sometimes pulls a little bit of a disappearing act, but he's played well today. He's made switches when necessary. You know, didn't get anything out of the blade. He's like, fine, I'll just switch. So no problem, not sticking on anything too long. And you have to have a Widow on this map, especially on last, because they're going to run our own Widow. You saw where Linkser was most of the game, that from the offensive perspective, the back left corner, and there's almost no way to get there. You can try to send your Tracer in, then she's out in no man's land, so you really just need your own Widow to check that.
You need your own Widow to get some headshots. Right now, they're very even between the two of them. Architect, sorry, 7-5, and Linkser 7-4. So, I mean, they are balancing each other out. Both of these Widows, they're not really known for their ultra-high consistency. It's like they have those moments where they just go off hinges.
Yeah. No,
and then they have moments where they just, pull a ninja impression.
You're absolutely right. It's not like the super consistent Sayas and Pines of the world, but they have those moments, those flashes where, like, this guy just took over the game. But both serviceable. Linkser's been hot and cold, hotter lately, but Houston is going to run what I have lovingly called the Swedish meatball.
Everybody together, everybody grouped, go charging onto the point, and well, you add Jake into it on the Brigitte. And look at that, they're just speeding right through. And well, Jake dies immediately. That's a horrible one for Sinatra. He's already starting off strong there. But the rest of them will start to try and set up that hard point on defense, or that hard point takeover here on the first point. Not going to really happen, though, because San Francisco are going to be able to throw things a little out of whack. Lynx are hanging in there despite the halt. And well, now San Francisco, they should have the advantage, especially because Jake has to run his way back into this fight.
Now they took down Muma as well. They're going to need a couple of kills. Here comes the tire. Does get dispatched rather immediately by Coolmat. And we talk about fast charging ultimates. Coalescence already up, already used by Raucus.
No hesitation on his side. Lynx just wants to stay alive. He had all the energy in the world to do the damage, but couldn't quite make it stick. Architect and Sinatra finding the kills here for San Francisco. Shock and Choi even chime in. And there we go. Architect really doing work. So San Francisco now, defense looking pretty solid.
Oh, they look great. They looked absolutely great. Houston, again, back to the drawing board. Full reset here, so that fight meant nothing. They're going to switch off so many different heroes. Lynxer's different. Raucus has moved. The only ones staying are Coolmat. Jake's got 42% on his Tracer, but he had switched that halfway through the fight, and he has a chance to switch again if he wants, because Architect just puts him back. Just fine.
It's kind of tough because you need those tanks to get back there. Nicely done by Muma, dodging out. And it will not be possible to get the res off on Jake. He's relegated back to spawn, and the long walk. Walk of shame, some would say.
San Francisco only used a tire in that last fight. It got nothing, but look at this. Sinatra's already at 76% again. His Junkrat has been so good for this team the last week or so. This entire stage, I would say.
It's just watching the shooting gallery at this point. You show this man anything. You give him a pixel to work with, and he's not going to miss. There's the halt. Oh, not quite got the angle.
It doesn't matter. It goes down anyway. Sleepy hits the volley. The angle was for the Zenyatta to pick that off instead of the Widowmaker. So he's trying to hide from the Widow. They pull him in the doorway and volley him down. Coolmat out in space.
In a mech. No worries.
Yeah,
Not gonna die a horrible death.
It pretty much is the last scene of Alien right there. Aliens. Right.
Aliens, exactly. This game on point, Hex.
Got to get the dock loader up.
They were actually in space where no one could hear their screams in the first.
I would pay so much for like a yellow Aliens dock loader skin for Diva.
Oh, yes.
It needs to happen.
Please.
I need Ellen Ripley Diva in my life.
Please, devs, if ever there was anything.
Again, look at this economy, though. San Francisco holding on to 5 right now, and they're just absolutely crushing Houston. Houston needs to win a fight in the next minute or so. We're down to a minute, and it has been all San Francisco so far. This is looking as bad as NYXL versus Seoul. And I thought it was going to go the other way for this. I thought it was going to be San Francisco who looked like they had no idea what they're doing. Houston is in a world of hurt right now. They will have Valkyrie, and they're going to have a lot of ultimates to work with. It's about execution, but again, San Francisco is just using one ult here, one ult there. Here's another tire, slows it down. We're down to it. This is the last push for Houston. I can't believe this.
Houston like to take their time with it. We saw it on Blizz World where they waited until overtime pretty much. That was sleepy with the volleys. Jake just can't stand it. 30 seconds and going, volley in. Not quite going to get the timing just right there, unfortunately, to time it up with the halt. San Francisco Shock now with Architect. Now they can see through walls. He's playing so aggressive, hunting for the kills right now. Architect even kind of missing up on his grapple there. That's a bit dicey, but they weren't able to capitalize on it, Houston Outlaws. With the ults now, though, like on Blizz, we saw a great push out of them to pick up that first point. There's still a chance here for Houston to make it right. Lynxer, dead. Architect finds him. Bounty going for the res. Right out in the middle of nowhere. No problem, though. His tank's drawing the attention of Architect. Allow him to get it off. So we're back into this, but nobody on the point. Raucus Zoomyataing in there, and it's not good enough. San Francisco Shock. They will hold and take a 2-map lead in the series.
I'm extremely surprised about how well San Francisco has played. You talk about adapting on the fly from week to week to changing strats. Everyone on this team is playing at a super high level right now, and I think Houston is just flabbergasted. I thought they must have assumed that they had HLC in the bank. It's been one of their better maps. It's not San Francisco's. See what the Des has to say. Again, take a break, and we'll see you after the half.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Can we go? I'm starving.
Yeah, almost. Just need to adjust a few more things.
Are you serious?
As serious as safety. So yeah, very serious.
Right.
You good?
Yeah, very good. And ready to get some food.
Almost got it all just right. 10 and 2. Well, now I gotta start all over again.
Oh, come on!
Stay one step ahead in the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
San Francisco is putting on a straight-up clinic right now. The Outlaws have had no answers for the Shock so far as they find themselves down 2-0 at the break. Welcome back, everybody. Malik here. We got Sideshow Reinforced here for our halftime show. Guys, this match hasn't been as close as we thought it was going to be going in.
No, it definitely hasn't. And when we looked at Horizon Lunar Colony, like Hexagrams was saying, we were expecting Outlaws to be more of the dominant team, take the win on that map, and instead the San Francisco Shock just completely locked them out. It's been really surprising, but also I'm loving it, because this is the new San Francisco Shock. And this is kind of what we wanted to see when their players were first brought in, but I really feel like they've turned over a new leaf. They're really crisp with their strategy. I can see kind of, I don't want to give too much credit to him, but I think this is Krusty, their new head coach.
The 7 brains in one.
Problem.
No, Krusty was not the problem. And he has come in and it looks like he's revitalized this team. They look so good right now.
Right, they look clean. They're not making as many mistakes. But guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the highlights, starting with Blizzard World. What's some of the things that you've seen reinforced so far in their gameplay?
Honestly, like the San Francisco Shock, they were dominant and they make dive work. There was a stat card at the beginning of the map and it said like, San Francisco Shock, they play a lot of dive and they make it work regardless of the Brigitte. And once again, you sort of have to give some credit to Krusty because the way he set up the Boston Uprising in earlier stages this season, it was so impressive the way Boston Uprising dived. And now the San Francisco Shock are taking matters into their own hands and they just look so good when they're executing these dives around the Brigitte. It doesn't matter to them anymore. Then on Houston Outlaws attack, they try this Reinhardt composition because they know that dive isn't their strongest composition. And so they're trying to force this and they lose a lot of time on point A. And when you go into point B with no time bank, it's so hard to really finish this map.
It definitely is. And Malik, you were asking, what did we see on Blizzard World? Well, I saw a 35-second tire immediately come out, and then another one here as well from Sinatra, because the Houston Outlaws, when they try and run these aggressive tanky compositions, they're just eating them up. And again here, we saw the dive, just so clean and crisp from the San Francisco Shock. First attempt, they take it on point A. They use the Dragon Blade to bait out some ultimates on point B, and then Architect goes to town again. And here, Houston are so, they're struggling so much with their first point offenses. Being able to break these Orisa holds has been the bane of their life. They have no idea what to do about it, and they just look lost.
It's crazy because we always knew they had this talent and this ability, but they almost are playing like a completely different team.
Yeah, I mean, they're always young and inexperienced players, right? And with new coaching staff, we're just giving it all to Krusty, really. It's all the credit.
The 7 brains in one.
Yes, exactly. But you have all this individual skill, and now it's really, you know, starting to take shape. You know, they play a lot of rank, they have the individual skill necessary, the mechanics, but now it is all coming together. And the way they're taking these fights, it's so impressive, really. Towards the end of Horizon Lunar Colony, I mean, Super jumps in pretty much YOLO with a Primal Rage, and it just distracts the Houston Outlaws. And it gives the rest of the San Francisco Shock so much space. It's just these small things that sets up the San Francisco Shock up for success. It's a new San Francisco.
They're pretty much doing everything with causality. Like they have a reasoning for every move they're making. Nothing's just coming off the cuff. So there was a really good main tank battle going down that.
Well, really good battle, I wouldn't like to say, but taking a look at
massacre.
It was a massacre, but taking a look at the stats, I mean, it was just so telling of what was going on, because Super is a good tank, you know, but he's playing against Muma, who in the past they praised to one of the best Winstons in the league, and I mean, just looking at these stats, Super was so dominant in all categories, and it's not all credit to Super, it's just the entire team playing around Super, supporting him, diving with him, executing with him. And they, as a team, when it comes together, you know, Super, it just...
Sure.
Take a look at yourself.
And
it's ridiculous.
And I don't think that this is Muma's fault in any sense.
No.
Yeah,
because
not at all.
It just tells the story in a very...
It does, because Muma's there and he's doing all the right things and he's getting in there, but he doesn't have support. There's nobody flanking at the same times. The DPS heroes don't quite fit into Linkster and Jake's hero pool. So he's in a really awkward position where he's doing as much as he can possibly do, but the rest of the team isn't there with him and isn't being able to dive effectively. That's why they can't get past these Orisa compositions. You saw them try and speed boost past and just like sneak by with the Reinhardt Zarya. That isn't going to work either, because they know exactly what's coming, and then they just get these rip tires off.
And what's so impressive to me is the way he's synchronizing with Sinatra on the Tracer, because sure, we know Sinatra has a lot of skill on that Tracer, but he was never known for his, you know, team chemistry and team synergy, the way he's diving. He was just often alone in the backline.
All aim, no brain.
You said it, I didn't. But now, you know, they're playing like a team, they're diving Winston and Tracer. It's a bit reminiscent of Philadelphia Fusion, I like to say, with Snillo and Fraggy in the past, the way they're diving together. It just looks so good.
You know, I think we really haven't emphasized the stakes that this game holds. If Houston doesn't win, how bad is this going to hurt them?
It's gonna hurt a lot, in my opinion, because, you know, you're behind already in terms of wins, and looking at the standings, you really need to start winning at some point. This is a must-win game for the San Francisco Shock, in my opinion, because now the Houston Outlaws, they're sitting at 8, and they need to start racking up wins to compete with the Gladiators to get that 6th seed and qualify for the season playoffs. They're looking like they're out of it right now, and they're not coming back.
They need wins over people above them, never mind wins over people below them. So the Houston Outlaws, if they want to get further up the table, they definitely need this win. Because otherwise, if you lose this one, you have to win against somebody else. And you're not getting wins against NYXL, you're not getting wins against guys like Philadelphia Fusion potentially, and you don't play Seoul this stage, who are also on a downward spiral. So where are you getting these wins from? If you're not getting them here, who are you taking them from?
Really, it's now or never.
It's Elim or beat Elim.
It's now or never. If you want to make the season playoffs, you have to win tonight.
Yeah.
All right, well, the Shock have had a decisive first half on Blizzard World and Horizon, and Houston are going to have to pick it up here in the second half if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's all on the line when we come back with Oasis coming up next.
If you're in the Los Angeles area, come experience Overwatch League live at Blizzard Arena. For tickets, check out access.com.
Welcome back, everybody, from the break. We are going to get into the map 3 here between Houston and San Francisco Shock. I just saw the San Francisco Shock team owner outside. He's ecstatic right now, Hex. I just saw Flame trying to explain himself to Zoe. So, ups and downs right now for both of these teams, but it's great to watch a good series.
Shock technically doesn't really have anything to play for, not season-wise anyway. They're pretty far out of it, out of those playoffs, but there's something just about ruining other teams' chances, and showing who you are, show them what you got, as it were. And so I feel this is our fault, You had to open up that, like, Houston wins 80% of the times that we cast their games, and then, I'm like, hey, the Houston's really good on this map, and, like, that caster curse is real, man.
It's not over yet.
No, so here's what I'm going to do. Houston's really bad at this map. They are.
Okay.
Straight up. They're 4-9 on Oasis. This one's probably over. I mean, I don't know. I could keep watching if you want.
My condolences
Houston
to
has
the Houston fans.
No chance.
No, they're totally going to mess up the bed right now.
Too much.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, there's some Baby Blues we haven't seen for a while. Baby Bay is back in the house right now. Well, he's going to be swapping in for Sinatra. Okay, that's interesting considering how well Sinatra's been performing. Going to be fun to see what the baby can bring to the table here.
It's nice to bring him back into the mix. Also, just a very, very good hit scan player. So you'd have to imagine that they want to run a lot of McCree as we go into Oasis. McCree has been very popular on these maps because Pharah is popular on these maps, and someone's got to shoot her out of the sky.
Yes, usually a pretty good way to go about dealing with Pharah. Shoot her out of the sky, get rid of her, or chuck her off the side, or any other way of just removing her rockets from the game. We're going to get into the thick of things now as San Francisco Shock will be running Baby Bay on the McCree, bit of what we saw earlier today, and Houston Outlaws, however, will have Linkser sticking on that Widow. So 2 different approaches, I suppose, to finding shots on Pharahs and removing Pharahs.
Yeah, Baby Bay can run a decent Widow as well. So, I mean, it gives you a little more flexibility as far as what you want to run here. Architect's going to open it up on kill on Bonnie. That is generally a fight-winning kill to take the opposing Mercy out immediately. Super will fall eventually, but that's a trade that you make. You're totally fine with that. Super will be back into the mix as they continue to look to clean up. Baby Bay is going to peek corner, see if he sees anyone scrambling back. Does have another member of the Outlaws in his sights, and that is a very decisive first win for San Francisco Shock here. They're going to stay on it. It can be difficult to re-enter when you're the Pharah on the losing side of things. And now Architect is looking to get free damage with these boosted rockets, get his barrage up quickly.
Yeah, I'm wondering how in the blazes did he find a kill on Bonnie to start? That is not common at all. Kind of curious about that. Not easy to get those rockets to connect with Mercies. And then he goes ahead and hits one direct on Bonnie. Okay, thank you very much, Architect. That's all good. So we will get the red top on Linkser here.
You asked how he did it.
And he shall deliver. Bonnie right now, he's in a bit of a tight spot. Cool Matt with the body block, though, keeping his healer alive. That's not going to help him, though. He's dead. Raucus is gone as well. And yet another fight here that will get sent packing from the Houston Outlaws.
Oh, now they've got Deadeye, too, so it's going to be even worse off for Jake and Bonnie to get in here, because even if you're able to dodge Architect's Sidewinder missiles, the air-to-air heat seekers there, you got to deal with the Deadeye on the ground, and Deadeye doesn't miss.
Deadeye never misses. It's high noon somewhere in the world. And he is here to do damage. Let's go. Oh, that's going to set it up. Nicely done. The volley there from Sleepy. Collect the kill on Raucus. Now, well, from Baby Bay's perspective right now, all he has to do is exactly just stay, keep aware of his positioning, and keep pumping out the damage. There's a headshot. I like it. Well, San Francisco Shock right now, they're at 70% and counting. It's been just like slow, unstoppable. Houston not really finding a way to get that tourniquet on there and quit the bleeding.
Hasn't been flashy. Baby Bay is just chilling in Choi's Matrix, just hanging out, dodging bullets, dealing out his own bullets too. They've got 6 ultimates on board Houston. This is how badly it's gone. Only 1 ultimate up now. Finally, they'll get Valkyrie. Here comes the Deadeye. They're going to keep him in the Matrix. That's exactly why his Diva's there. It's just to zone them out. Everyone does have to back out, so it buys them some time at least.
And they got like a solid 10% off of that alone. We're going to get up there. Jake, though. Excellent work. Back-to-back rockets on Architect, and that's going to be a big one now. A lot of DPS lost here. Sleepy falls to Linkser as well. And Houston Outlaws at the very bitter end might be able to turn it around here.
Yeah, I think it's time to just die or get out. They've already said that it already looks like they're not going to use any more ults. They already committed Valkyrie to that one, and they lost this fight. Totally fine. You're at 99%. You need 1 more fight, and that is it. They do get a nice late stagger onto Choi there, though. But now look at all these ultimates they've got to work with. They're still in a very, very decent spot. Baby Bay, I felt like he just used Deadeye, has another one ready. That's a testament to how much damage he's doing.
We're glad to see Baby Bay on the server. Didn't really get the opportunity too often recently. But it is going to be a big advantage here for San Francisco Shock, and they are going to decide to stick with the Pharah as they try to retake the point. 99 to 25% I'm counting here for Houston Outlaws. So Jake looking for that positioning right now. He can drop down right on top of him for the barrage. Definitely would love to do that. This, oh man, the focus of attention right there, as we will get monster kill for Baby Bay. If he wanted anybody with that Deadeye, it was definitely Bonnie. They will manage to get the volleys in, trading the Faras, but with no res possible here for the Houston Outlaws, things are looking up for San Francisco Shock, especially if Baby Bay's just hitting back-to-back headshots.
Just plunks them from a long range too. Who needs a scope when you've got Baby Bay? There you go. A nice re-entrance onto the team for Shock with Baby Bay. Had himself one hell of a game. 16-7, and that kind of shows you how they fought. They fought the first one, right? It's full team wipe. They get 6 kills, super dies late, but then they're just getting entry kills, and they're getting 1 kill here, 1 kill there. It's like, yeah, back to spawn with you. Back to spawn with you. When you're ready, come out and fight, and now you're wiped again. But only 16 kills the entire round. And that's, I'm still kind of shocked that this Shock team is playing this well.
I see what you did there.
I mean, like, hey, you name
you and the rest of the world.
You name yourself a verb.
Well, we're going to see now. I mean, it is going to be a question of whether or not they can make it happen here, Houston Outlaws, and tie things up in this series, or if this is going to be San Francisco Shock running away with the series 3-0. They're currently in the lead 2-0 on maps. They're 1 point away from ending this right here. So, San Francisco Shock now. I like it, the halt hook combo here that we've seen be so effective. Choi going to get the show off here. We'll see how good he is at hitting hooks.
Houston has gone with the ground and pound approach as well. They're going to play tank heavy Ryan Zarya and then throw a Junkrat in the mix. It can be very good against Orisa. You just sit back, try to crack the shield, but cracking the shield of Orisa seems like just a waste of ammo at times. She's going to have it up again.
Exactly, it is Overwatch ammo. I don't think these guys are paying for their ammo, so they're not too they don't care too much about that, but still, yes, it is frustrating. Sleepy, well, speaking of frustrating, wow, all the kills and the hook. Rockets get dead. And Choi sets it all up. Gets the follow-up on Bonnie. He's ruthless.
As good as those hooks feel, the best feeling as a Roadhog is to alt fire at perfect range.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you feel it right away. You know, like as soon as you fired it, that it's gonna clunk right there. Beautiful shot there to know the range and finish off some kills. San Francisco Shock are 1 stage away from winning the map and thus the series. And as Johnny said on the desk, it is do or die for Houston. If they're not getting wins here, where are they getting wins?
Yeah, as we progress, they really need to find a level here, dig deep. Architect's got Barrage online now. Choi has found Raucus already. Things are looking up. And Architect's now got the positioning here if he wanted to commit into this. Could get dicey for the Outlaws as they try to push through.
No need to commit to it. Totally fine. 50%. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Baby Bay's got Deadeye. I mean, look, they've got almost every ult they need. The only person who doesn't have ult is Super because he's just been chilling. Oh.
Yeah, this is nasty. And here we go. Bonnie's out of it. We're going to get the follow-up. Jake is dead. Coolman nearly follows suit, only to get picked up by Choi. Thought he'd survived it? No. No, Choi thinks not.
Architect and Sleepy both die. Only 1 res available, so Moth proves that Sleepy is his favorite child. Architect, go walk on back. There's actually just a mobility issue as well. Oh, of course you always want your healer up as well, but Architect has the blast to get himself back there. So he's going to be into the fray, no problem.
Well, we've got the res online here. We really got the Valk online for Houston Outlaws. Bit of ults, quite a few. Link's just dead again. Never mind!
Pocketed.
That is not something you see every day. Usually a hook equals instant death. But Baby Bay, he has got the angle here, just plunking away. Nearly gets the headshot. Follow up on a Coolman who had the bubble just in time. Manages to fade away here. And Super with the ultra. He's going for it right now. Mass damage. And guess who's taking advantage of it? Sleepy again, the snake in the grass.
Sleepy is so good. All they need to do is finish out this fight. Muma throws a shatter at the bongo because he hates music. But Super comes in and gets a couple more kills. The San Francisco Shock are going to win this series.
Fantastic work from the Shock. Get the trance at the end, the icing on top. 3-0 win versus the Houston Outlaws. Certainly shocking the world tonight. Fantastic work from them.
Baby Bay dabs, and I won't hold that against him, I should. But San Francisco, man, if you're not a fan now, get on board for Season 2 because this team gets better and better. I am stunned by these results. I think a lot of people expected Houston, with everything to play for, was going to put on a better performance than we've just seen today.
Still trying to figure it out there, Houston Outlaws. They'll have a little bit of time here, Hex, to do just that. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back for Map 4, the final map of this series.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP. the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
You have to be able to be part of a team.
You need to be at the right place at the right time.
They know exactly what they want to do every fight.
People talk about history. I want to be in that discussion.
All right, welcome back, everybody, from the break. It is over as far as the series is concerned. San Francisco Shock, they've done it. 3-0, clean win over the Houston Outlaws. Now it's a matter of whether Houston Outlaws can save whatever shred of honor they have left here and pick up the last map of the series.
It's gonna be hard. I mean, a lot of times we say like, oh, a 3-0 or 4-0, but it doesn't tell the whole story. This one tells the whole story. It's been completely one-sided for San Francisco Shock. Oasis, dominant. Lunar Colony, dominant. Blizzard World, dominant. I mean, this is a Houston team that everyone's expecting, like, hey, they're on a tear. They've looked really good this stage. This is their meta. You know what? San Francisco's like, hey, we're going to dive your meta. How's that feel?
And they're going to go ahead. It's like a dream. You know, they've got this guy sleepy. You know, they never want to wake up. The guy is doing work. Sinatra is back, subbing in for Baby Bay.
You could say they're swinging on a star right now.
Yeah, it's...
You could. I mean, it's a dumb line. I'll say it.
You go ahead. Yeah, you've already gotten out there, Hex.
Yeah,
there's no backing up now.
I'm 108 years old, and I like Frank Sinatra, so...
Where do we go next with this? It is going to be Dorado
So, okay, so what does Houston have to play for now? Map differentials will matter. Maybe they can surprise some teams. Look, I was surprised by a lot of today's results already. So there's a lot of parity in the Overwatch League. It's not over for Houston as far as getting into the season playoffs. But it's beyond just map differential. You don't want to come out of this one with nothing getting dominated by San Francisco. You want to build on something here so you can go into your next set and hopefully pull off a win there. Right now, as you mentioned, like, just pick up, scrape the bottom of the barrel for any shred of dignity is down there.
There's got to be some left. There is. We'll see. I mean, Houston, right now, they have shown that they are capable of picking up the wins, of working together as a unit in the past. I think that's why it comes as such a shock that, San Francisco are doing what they're doing. But San Francisco as well, a team that have very progressively throughout the season long, they've had their ups and downs, but they've always been making changes for the better. And well, right now, I mean, this is looking like a dominant force. So now it's a matter of whether or not Houston Outlaws can hang in there. They're starting off on the defense as the home team. San Francisco Shock on the offense as the away team. And they have got...
No, this is their strat.
I love it. The pirate ship.
They ran this last time on Dorado first, and it's an interesting strat, and the other team has to deal with it. It means get off my corner right away. Where are you going to set up now? What's Muma's purpose here, except to just try to put down a shield that's just going to get shredded?
Yeah, look at that.
Just going to get shredded.
Within the span of 3 seconds, that shield is gone. I mean, the shield has got a pretty short cooldown, but you have this whole window of time now where defensive cooldowns are going to get used by Houston Outlaws, and that's going to open it up, create space, or should create space for Architect, but Linkser is the man doing work right now. Houston Outlaws really striking back. 2 big kills that'll stop this push for San Francisco.
Well, they absolutely needed those kills. Shield goes down, and Linkser's able to take advantage of it, now pushed all the way back.
Does it stay on the pirate ship?
I mean, that's the question. Usually it's a one-off here. They got him through the archway, though, so now they can actually... I think Houston's going to posture up in front of this cart and let it retreat down to the arch. You want to hold the arch with a wrist. It's like that shield is the exact same shape. It was designed for that archway. It's going to be hard to get in. So now we're going to revert into a full-on dive composition from San Francisco.
We'll see. Architect, he's got over onto the Genji. Sinatra on the Tracer. We saw Sinatra excel on Tracer earlier on Blizz World, so he's definitely got his eye in. So it's a matter of finding the opening here. Where are they going to go in for the dive? Linkser knows that somebody's hanging around here on the backside. Yep, sure enough. It's a body shot on Architect. That's going to slow him down.
He's got the sense over there. Going to put the mine down so that if he does end up parkouring over that wall, he will know about it. Commit some ultimates now into this mix. Architect and Moth falling in that this fight is just about over for the San Francisco Shock. Going to have to retreat. But, they used Valkyrie. Houston did. Houston's just been very strange on some of the ultimate stuff today. I mean, they've been mixing it up a lot when their first attempts don't work, so they're always behind the 8 ball when it comes to ultimate economy. And then just some of these pops have been questionable.
They have, but right now at least, wondering if San Francisco, now that they know they've won the series, that mental game, that's where you take the foot off the pedal a little bit, because we're also seeing them kind of struggle here. It's been a lot of Houston Outlaws finding the kills. Jake be dead, but Sinatra as well.
Is that like Johnny be good? Jake be dead?
Jake be dead. Jake be quick. Jake needs to get back over here at some point. I don't know how to work a candlestick into that, man. Okay.
That's perfectly acceptable. Super brought back to life. This has been slow going, but now we're only at about a minute for Dorado. Supercharger is dropped by Muma.
Everybody's doing damage to the ground.
Architect has pulled 3 people back, so now it's time to go in on the front line. Super's going to jump back in. He's caused the distraction necessary for the rest of his team to gain some footing here. Tyre comes in looking for something. Sinatra does a good job of taking it down.
Very quick work there from Sinatra. Oh, Linkser again. He's hitting body shots, but they are trying to get on top of him, not let him get too comfortable here. Architect with the reflect keeps himself alive, but Jake in the meantime has D-Mech Choi. So right now, so far, things are looking very good here for Houston Outlaws. They are whittling down the time. 40 seconds left on the clock for San Francisco Shock to get this .1.
Well, that's a resurrection, though, and Moth is nearing a Valkyrie. Benny did pop his Valkyrie yet again, but Super and Sleepy both go down. Time to go back to spawn. Architect out in no man's land. Sinatra, I don't know if they've spotted him. He might just hang out here. There's no way he's getting back to spawn with the rest of his team, and they've only got 1 push left. 20 seconds. Tense music, tense music, tense music.
Yeah, drama increases. Feel it in your bones. You are feeling it in your bones if you're here in the studio, because the sound system here is very loud. It is going to be it. Houston Outlaws. Ooh. Looking good. And Jake, he's just got the bear trap down. Sinatra, no longer that tall. Definitely reduced. Architect, he's got the blade. Going to go for it. Can he find the target? We got the trans out, and he is not getting too much joy here. Moma's at the harden, but it is going to be him backing off. A couple of kills coming through, at least the D-Mech on Cool Matt and Will. Jake is going to fall to Architect. So now we actually have San Francisco Shock making some progress here. And Houston Outlaws, they looked so good, they will be unable to hold in the end on the first point. Linkser can get in here to contest, but he's not going to last long. Banny going to get decapitated as well. Surely a super slowly tases him. Architect is there, of course, to pick up the stats because, hey, that's what Genjis do. Dash in, steal your kill all day, every day.
Spoken like a man who's been playing free-for-all all day. They will get first point, and we should see some changes here from the Outlaws. Once this tire comes out, they like to get off of the Junkrat and start running Brigitte. Jake will do that if the composition does switch, but he wants to use the tire first, of course, a very high-value ultimate. And Skill will just take all the free push. Moth alone on the cart. Check his Twitter right now, see if he's tweeting.
Oh. Hey, there we go. That's what you were looking for.
Should reset now too, Sleepy and Sinatra both falling here. Sinatra has switched over to the Brigitte as well. Second point, Brigitte was something that we didn't necessarily think we were going to see because she doesn't have high ground. You want to run mobility, but teams have just been putting her in there with dive tanks as well. They'll run dive tanks and a Brigitte just because she's so good at staying on the cart, having the presence and the healing. And then once you round this bend, a lot of the fighting takes place on the ground anyway.
I think there's still a lot of shouting. You know, kill Cool Matt, please. Brigitte can help along with that. Shield, bash, knockback, all sorts of fun. Linkser right now, speaking of which, getting punched in the face. That's not too fun for him. Again, it's like, please leave me alone. Super will not stop until you're dead.
Kills you, that builds a house over top of your grave. That is just some vengeance right there. Here comes a blade from Architect, looking to clean up the remainder of the Outlaws. We'll find Raucus, and this one is going to continue to push as Super pounces on Banny as well.
Buddy, could this actually happen? 54 seconds and counting here. Now Sinatra even gets the rally online. Everybody gonna get pure beef. Sleepy, not quite all armored up, but still. Jake now with the tire. Boom. Tries to get the D-Mech, but there's no follow-up, so Choi's gonna hang in there. Cool Matt trying to end him. It's not gonna be the case. Self-destruct right out in the open. Cool Matt not many places to hide. He just barely squeaks it, but he's got a self-destruct of his own.
Self-destruct on defense like that, you're not getting your mech back. Teams have been so good about hunting down these pilot divas in those situations. Linkser in a world of trouble already again. All the ultimates for both sides have pretty much been used now, so it's going to come down to just straight up mechanics. Who can get better? There's a resurrection on Architect, a little mini ult in the middle of this. Super's in trouble too, he's got very low.
Muma's out of it there. The focus fire right now is excellent from the San Francisco Shock. Sleepy just so quietly getting the work done. Unbelievable, he continues to get final blows. He's up to 6 right now. And we've got it, I mean, they keep pulling through here, San Francisco Shock. 1.5 minutes on the clock. Architect running game on these kids with the help of Super.
Sleepy has just been so impressive. His numbers don't always tell the whole tale. Is when he's getting these kills, he gets a couple clutch kills, a couple games. I mean, the damage boosted Sleepy is ridiculous when they give him a chance. So low-key has been so good for San Francisco all throughout the season. You know, working with all the new additions as well as the support, he's been able to adapt to that. Looking good. Architect's got a blade ready. Might be anti-air blade.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful Architect. The big kill on Bonnie, gets the follow-up on Linkser. That opens it up for Choi to remove Muma from the equation. And while Sinatra is still alive here, but he's going to be doing just fine. Cool Matt D-Mech'd immediately, and they continue to progress. Here's San Francisco Shock.
And they even walked in and resurrected Architect. They just walked right in there. They're going to have both support ultimates here as well. Same can be said for Houston in a moment. Raucus is probably going to have to pop Transcend, get on the cart, hopefully keep Banny alive long enough for him to get Valkyrie. Overlapping support ultimates for San Francisco as they try to push this out.
Yeah, weren't able to keep Choi on the remake, but he might be able to work his way up to one. If he can hang in here long enough, could get that fresh mech going. Yes, will, and he is going to survive. Excellent work there from Choi. Cool Matt in the meantime, I don't know if the same can be said for him. He's run out of D-Matrix, which means he's pretty much D-Mech'd and surely dead. Yes, Super will find him. And right now, kill after kill for the San Francisco Shock. Houston Outlaws, after a strong first point hold, they might falter here at the end as the self-destruct gets thrown in. That's creating more space. Banny hanging on by a thread. Architect looking to clip those wings. Somehow Banny dodges him. Banny going for the bold res on Amuma, who will continue to be here to contest.
Res is right in his face. They're going to drop a self-destruct. The bubble will contain it over top, living under that dome. Architect continues to dash through people. Moth finally falls. Houston is trying to stall this one out as best they can. Eventually, the offense pushes it all the way through after almost being stopped on first point.
Woo, that was some spicy camera work there. Shout out to the director. I love that.
You know, I like this Shock team, man. They're young kids. They had to wait, and the whole organization knew, like, you know, season 1's gonna be fine, guys. We're not a season 1 team, and they just knew this for a while. We're building for the future. We're signing 17-year-olds in your face. They're ready for it. But the point I'm getting at is Shock doesn't have everything to play for. Right? Season playoffs, not going to happen. Stage playoffs, they started the stage 1 and 2. It'd be pretty surprising, but, you know, I'm sure people are rooting for them. This map in particular, what's their map differential really mean for them? But they got out first, and then they slam it through to the end, making statements, putting people on notice. And, you know, like, this is why I liked the Philly game the other day, too. Get out of my server. Get out of my server. They're not letting up.
Yes, I mean, Sleepy right now, along with the rest of them. Architect, everybody just standing out. But you got to give it to Sleepy, man. He is so consistently good on Zenyatta right now. 8 final blows and just continuing. When you stack it up with the rest of them, they're still way in the lead in terms of kills. San Francisco Shock, 37 to 25.
Yeah, they've got a lot of veteran leadership that brought everyone here to where they need to be. You think about the guys that started the season for San Francisco. They're all hanging out, and they're still very highly regarded by the organization as role models, figures, good coaches, player coaches, good scrim partners.
And we're talking about player acquisitions, but you know they're making the plays in terms of coach acquisitions as well.
Yeah,
could be a big factor in this turnaround here for San Francisco Shock in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Nevix, I've just really been impressed with how Choi's been playing as well. His D-matrixes have been everywhere they need to be. It's been really interesting to watch this team come together, and I'm over the Shock that they beat, that they're up 3-0 so far, and now I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed with how they're playing.
Oh, there we go. That's a start. That's a start. Raucus already. He's going to get rezzed up, Bonnie.
Forcing the res right away.
Yeah, doesn't want to let him walk, or float, rather, 10 feet. Architect, though, removes Jake from the equation immediately. Muma, however, going to try and keep this point alive, but not for long. Decides to back off. Maybe reduce the stress a little bit here for his supports who have to worry about keeping him topped up. But I'm liking this aggression so far from San Francisco Shock, not giving ground immediately.
You know, eventually you will fall back and hold the archway. There's only so much you can do from up top. A little drive-by there by Choi. Tries to take down Linkser. Linkser's going to have him in his pocket, and there is a nice pick on Architect.
Well, that was a beautiful shot from Linkser. More like that, Linkser. Architect brought back to life, though, so feels bad for Linkser, but you know, he'll be able to keep on going as gets the body shot. Still, they're hanging in here for San Francisco Shock. Holding at the arch, that's the name of the game. It's just a matter of not letting Jake and Linkser get the drop on him. That one-shot kill potential is still here for Jake with the arrow as well. Bows and arrows do work as well, but no. Super finds the kill on Jake, but it's traded for Sinatra.
Yeah, you can see that one coming a mile away. Of course, we can see the wireframes. Now everyone can. The difference is now they're filled in. That means that the actual team can see through walls, not just our nice spectator client, which just shows you the outline. Architect answers back, and Coolmat's the one res, so this push is over. Banny's down, Linkser's down, Coolmat's down. All thanks to Architect starting off those kills. He's had himself a very, very good Widow game. He's gotten the better of Linkser in several of these occasions, and, you know, Linkser can only do so much. He's only but one man.
Well, I mean, so far, Architect, in terms of final blows, he's 6 ahead of the runner-up. He's at 17. Runner-up is Linkser with 11. And then it drops off pretty steeply from there. So this is, you know, like what we saw with Agilities for the Valiant earlier, right? Last map, just totally dominating. Right now, this is Architect's map.
He's played very, very well, and so far, Houston, I mean, they're going to have this dragon. See if they can find anything here. It's supposed to get them all out of the room. Forces out the Transcend, so that's decent.
Interesting.
Probably could have died there and let Moth resurrect him if he needed, but they're going to take down Jake in the back lines. Under 2 minutes now to go. Houston hasn't really put any pressure on. That card is stalled right underneath the archway.
Muma's got to go. He's going to get a fresh shield down. Paul's not really going. Bonnie, though, as I say that, gets run over by Choi.
I've been so impressed with this D.Va play. It's been so good. Nevix was old, consistent, got everything going. I mean, Choi just, he's one of those D.Vas so far in this small sample size that is flipping the switch. D-Matrix here, and drive-by, and now D-Matrix here again. He's everywhere he needs to be, and it's perfect.
Let's see. What is the answer here for Houston? They're banking ults, or at least trying to. They've got both of their support ults. Now Architect, he's getting a bit bored with this. He's looking over there. Is there a flanker over here I can shoot in the face real quick? Okay, fine. Fine. Cool, Matt, though. That is a kill. Super is dead. It's going to be a difficult position for Moth to get the res off as well. So it might have to be that Super... Oh, well, you're just going to get yanked in, and that's going to be it. Houston Outlaws, they were patient. It's paying off. 45 seconds, and it's looking like they will be able to make the play here from second point.
They did pop Valkyrie during that fight yet again. Is yet another kind of confusing Valkyrie, not sure if it was needed, but you know, it was kind of their last push, so they just went in on it there. It's still going to be another fight. San Francisco wants to fight this. They have a Valkyrie of their own, and they're going to come in with it.
Yes, and now that is going to be the edge. Perhaps this Jake is brought back to life. Self-destruct right in the open. Muma, he loses the supercharger. The bongos are gone. They've been silenced. Sinatra, the monster tire. Benny is gone. That's the money one right there, and Muma as well. 14 seconds on the clock here for Houston Outlaws. And it is looking pretty grim, Hex.
Oh, this is going to be a brutal stagger, too. In fact, Matt's actually lucky that he finds a trap on the ground. They were going to let him live as long as possible. Still, though, now it's just kind of trickling onto the cart. The Dragon will escort several of the members there, but it's only 2 alive. And the green wall is crumbling.
Taken down brick by brick by the Shock. San Francisco with the clean sweep. 4-0 over the Houston Outlaws. Excellent performance from them. Look at this scoreline.
Yep.
A single point picked up by Houston in the entire series. Brutal. San Francisco Shock. They found the new level that they've been waiting so patiently to attain.
Yeah, San Francisco, you got to say everything in the world about them. Houston, you forget this game. You don't even look at it. You don't even VOD review. You don't even try to look at it. You forget it. It's an outlier. Something bad happened. Let's forget it and move on, because if they dwell on this, their season hopes are just about over. San Francisco, I mean, like, get their gear now while it's cheaper before season 2, because you're going to be a fan. They've looked so good and so impressive, and even in their losses this year, they've always been fighting into it. And now if they can just find the clutch factor, which is what they're lacking, they kind of throw away some games late and they choke a little bit. They can find that. They're becoming a very complete team.
It's going to be experience. The more time that these guys spend on that stage, competing live in front of the crowd, you're going to start seeing fewer and fewer of those mistakes. They're going to start stepping up that level. Excellent to see here. As far as the progress of the San Francisco Shock have made a well-deserved victory over the Houston Outlaws, we're going to take a break and we'll hear what the desk have to say about the last series of the day.
Is this happening? You better believe it! Here is the dead eye! It's so filthy! Heck, and it's
What did we do to deserve such incredible Overwatch?
What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to MLG's Watchpoint. We know you missed us.
I love watching this team
They just don't want to challenge him. There are some real issues going on behind the scenes.
Not everybody can improve,
Need
guys.
him to be on fire, and he won't.
You want him on Widow as much as possible.
And this is a disaster of a play.
You don't have the resources, you can't put together a winning strategy anyway.
Can you imagine what's going to be going through your head?
It'll be a little bit nerve-wracking.
It's a family here, and we treat each other like brothers and sisters.
I mean, in a game that moves as fast as Overwatch, it's actually huge.
This team could avoid the semifinal match if they just stuck with this lineup.
You might be right.
Is that all you're going to say?
What's up, Overwatch fans?
Do what we're told.
You need sweet names like Rock Idiots. This is Watchpoint.
That's Emmy material.
It was okay, I guess.
last time. Zoe here, joined by Sleepy from the San Francisco Shock. Please give it up for him and his team. F4-0 against the Houston Outlaws. Did you expect such a one-sided affair?
I think personally, with all the improvements we've made and like how we've been growing as a team, I kind of expected it to be a 4-0. But last time we played them, it was like a 3-2, really close game. So I was worried it could go that way, but I'm definitely really happy it was a 4-0.
All right. Now, you made some recent additions to your team in form of a new coach. Krusty joined you, formerly the coach of the Boston Uprising. What did he add to the team?
He added like a super like smart and like alpha coaching style. So like we all play one specific way. Because like before we would always kind of like, I would have an idea, you know, Sinatra would have an idea, we would kind of just mix things together. But now that we have Krusty, it's like super dominant. He just like, we all do one thing and we play like really smart.
Now, next week, you're going to face off against the Boston Uprising. You think having Krusty is going to give you a leg up there?
I definitely think so, 100%.
100%. Well, shout out to Krusty. Thank you so much for joining me down here on the floor. And one last time, let's head over to the desk to break down the action.
Thank you very much, Zoe. The San Francisco Shock has successfully played, spoiler, with a decisive 4-0 victory over the Outlaws. I'm laughing.
Are you an alpha desk host, Malik?
I don't think I'm an alpha. I think that would probably be more, that's more Puckett.
That's more
He's more the alpha. I think I'm pretty late.
I love that description of Krusty. It's so funny. But it's really true. As soon as you like really implement a system in a team and enforce them to all play on that style, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the best system in the world. As long as you get everyone on the same page, I feel like that's what a lot of the teams have been lacking. London in particular, I think, like, can you imagine if London had Krusty?
Hey, can I play? You know, and every, like, 12 players playing the single game.
Yeah. Not that it mattered, because London actually beat them yesterday anyway, but
well,
there you go.
Also, another
with
thing,
7 players.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I feel is very important is it seems like everybody trusts Krusty. Like, there's a trust from the players to the coach, and with that, it's reciprocating the good results.
They are definitely getting results. Like we were saying at the halftime, and it continued in the second half, this looks like a rejuvenated San Francisco Shock. It looks like one that could really contest the top of the tables this stage at the very least. And so I'm slightly concerned, though, because they are an inconsistent team. You know, sometimes they'll look pretty good and sometimes they'll look pretty bad. This is a new peak for them for sure, but I don't know whether they can keep it up. I'll still have to see a little bit more of the San Francisco Shock before I can make that judgment. But overall, they look great in this match.
All right, they haven't won all their games, but they've been close in the games that they've lost. They've looked altogether better. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into the highlights, starting with Oasis. And it was another decisive
Yeah,
right
we
there.
saw Babybay subbed in because they needed a hit scan DPS to complement Architect, right? And Babybay is your go-to guy. So really happy to see him utilized as well. It's a team effort. And with his aggressive playstyle on this McCree, he was able to pick up the Houston Outlaws alongside Architect. So really nice to see him getting rotated into the lineup as well.
I agree, yeah.
Honestly, like it's a shame that they lost to the London Spitfire yesterday because otherwise they could have gone for a stage playoff run the way they're looking.
That's true. I mean, can they still? I think they still can't run.
Probably, yeah.
They still can't make a stage playoff run.
Yeah, they'll just beat the New York.
It's almost impossible for them to make an overall playoff run. They'd have to pull off some ridiculous upsets. But for this match and for their overall form, they're looking just great for Season 2 in general. And like, for example, Hex made a joke, you know, get your San Francisco gear now while it's cheap, because Season 2 it'll be expensive. They need to lock Krusty down while he's a little cheaper.
Yeah,
he's going to be just the most sought-after coach if he's able to do this kind of matching.
After this transformation, you can't just rely on your players to consistently improve like this. You need good coaching staff, and, well, Krusty has earned himself a lot of money with this too.
All right, well, what about Dorado? It looked like Houston was going to bite back in this map, and then, again, the Shock just shut him down.
That's true, yeah. The Houston Outlaws had a pretty good point A defense, but San Francisco Shock eventually broke through by swapping Sinatra over to the Brigitte, and then on their own point A defense, they held it perfectly. And this, I feel, was Houston Outlaws not having their head in the game properly. Because when I was looking at their offense, they're not trying to flank, they're not trying to go for any different angles. They're just trying the same thing over and over again. That, to me, is not how Houston would normally play. That looks like a broken team. I think they did not expect the game to go this way. They weren't anticipating San Francisco Shock to be this good, and they realized that this now makes the overall playoff shoot for them almost impossible. They have to come out with some crazy upsets, go on a mad winning spree, and they look like they have holes in their game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order now for them to make it in. They got a lot of strong opponents to go through. But guys, let's go ahead and get to our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. And for this match, it is Architect.
I mean, it's pretty logical, right? It has to be that guy. He popped up on Widowmaker and Pharah, but really, the way they utilized him on Genji is so inspiring as well. In a meta where we don't really see a lot of dive, or well, we see some dive, but it's so hard to play dive versus never get there, right? They put Harmony Orb onto him, and he controls space alone as a Genji. So he always has that constant healing, and they spread out, take a lot of different angles. It's really cool to watch, and his individual skill is just off the chart.
Okay, so Architect has been good. We all knew this coming in, but why is it so much more noticeable in this stage?
I just think he peaks as a player individually as well as a team.
I think the team aspect is so different as well. When your team's performing well, they can give more space to Architect. He's under less pressure because they have to deal with everybody else. And when you're getting wins, you naturally look better as a player. So I think this is the time for Architect to prove that he can handle going toe-to-toe with some of the better flex DPS players in the entire league. You know, he has that kind of potential as a player. The rest of the system was not so great around him, but now good coaching staff, stepping up from all the rest of the players, good system. This is time for Architect
this is almost like World Cup material. You know, if he proves himself a bit more, like he's competing with like Fleta, Libro, but still, I mean, this is insane.
Do you go with Krusty over Pavane, the head coach of NYXL?
I mean, they're both up there for Coach of the Year in the league, in my opinion. So New York, you know, they've only lost 3 times this season.
That is true. It's very difficult to argue against New York.
Yeah. Well, with all the action today, let's go ahead and take a look at the stage standings and the league standings as well. But we're going to start with the stage standings. And guys, a little bit of a shift here. Top 14, the Valiant, they have 4-0 now. They're staying up there on top.
We're throwing a bone to the LA fans, you know. They can be top of the division for a little while, but I'm expecting
to mention the strength of schedule. Valiant has faced the bottom team so far.
It's true.
But the Gladiators are insane.
Yes, and that top 4 very strong between them as well. NYXL and Philadelphia Fusion right there. Philadelphia Fusion moved up into 5th place, but we have a new 2nd place team as well in the LA Valiant.
Yeah, they've clawed their way up there. So they move up the overall standings, but do they move up your power rankings?
The Valiant? Ooh, that's a tough call. Well, naturally, because Houston has gone down the drain. So, you know, they're not up there anymore. So
All right, well,
probably,
well, let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. We got the Dynasty and the Spitfire. The Shanghai Dragons are going to be taking on NYXL. Then we're going to end the day with the Dallas Fuel taking on the Philadelphia Fusion. That's going to be a good match, in my opinion. Potential upset, maybe?
I don't think so. I think Philadelphia Fusion.
The old is back.
Yo, Taimu Malik.
Carpoon.
Mr. Good Aim is back.
Mr. Good Aim.
Carpe never left. Never mind being back. He's going to dumpster him.
But those of you guys with All Access Pass, remember, be sure to stick around for our AMA coming up with Baby Bay. And remember to switch over to the Command Center right after this if you want to watch it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We've had another awesome day of Overwatch coming at you tomorrow, and we'll see you then.